If there's one thing I think most YouTubers overlook, it's the importance of custom thumbnails. Most of the time, viewers are going to look first at your thumbnail and then to the title to verify that the topic is relevant to their search. Now, we're not graphic designers by any stretch of the imagination, but we are proud to say that every single one of our videos has a unique thumbnail, and it's something that we're complimented on frequently. We want to quickly show you how we make our own custom thumbnails that make it look like we know how to design just by combining some royalty-free artwork. Okay, so let's get started and show you how we make our thumbnails without actually really drawing or designing anything. I guess technically it is designing, but we use other people's artwork and kind of make it our own. So let's open up one of our previous thumbnails. This one was for a video called That's Not Saving Money. And very quickly, I just want to talk to you about your text on your thumbnail. So this needs to capture your attention or capture the viewer's attention. And if you make the font too small, no one's going to be able to read it. Remember that these are going to be tiny little thumbnails and a list of search results or recommended videos. So in this one, we actually broke our own rule. Usually we try and keep them under 3 words or less. But since one was a nice big green knot, that kind of draws your attention and you'll look a little closer to read it. Now, how we built this thumbnail, I think it's actually a pretty good looking one. This little graphic right here is actually from a royalty website, and the one that we use is called 123rf.com. And the reason why we use 123rf is they just seem to be the cheapest. So I think this one was called Money, oops, sorry, I'm typing one-handed, Money Down the Drain. Now, I always use vector illustrations because I don't want someone else's photos as my thumbnail. I want them to be like a cartoon, but that's a personal preference. So you click vector illustration and you search, and hopefully this pops up. I did not check. Yes, there it is. Okay, so here is the picture that I found, and then I usually download in the 300 dpi in the smallest resolution because that's usually big enough for a YouTube thumbnail. And then what I would do is take it over to Photoshop, and I would say new project and 1920 by 1080. Web resolution is technically 72 pixels an inch. I usually do 150 just so I have a little bit of extra breathing room for scaling, but you certainly don't need to do that. And then once I have the image, I usually try and do a new background. This one I think was also from 123rf. And I want to say it was this one, if I'm not mistaken. And then I turned down the opacity. So I purchased both of those images. I brought them into Photoshop. And then I added the text. Now for text, you're going to want to use big block letters. And like I said, 3 words or less. Yes, I agree. This does take a little bit of practice because, you know, I had to stretch the background to fill the whole aspect ratio. I had to cut out all the white out of this image, which if you don't know how to do that, that's, you know, something you have to learn in Photoshop, or if you haven't paid for Photoshop, there's a free software called GIMP, which you can use to do the exact same thing. And even just color schemes, you know, I could have made this red, which would have clashed with the green. It would have made it look Christmassy. So there's all kinds of things, you know, we are really designing our thumbnails here, but it does not take very long because we use other people's artwork in our own way. I hope that makes sense.
If this is over your head, like it is mine, a great alternative would be to pay a graphic designer to come up with a template for each of your thumbnails.
This is possibly an even better branding tool because each of your thumbnails will have a very recognizable template.